Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Halo Forever. Of course, it is me, that Mario Rivera. Joining me, obviously, is a guest every week that joins as we play through all the Halo games. Still currently in Season 2 of Halo 2, moving on soon to Halo 3. But today, joining me from the Plastic Hearts podcast, Fonze, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Mario. How are you?
I'm surviving. It is either really hot in this room or really cold outside, and there's some weird differentiating. I don't know. Something's happening in this room. I don't know what's going on. My cat is going crazy, of course. This is the new era where I have a child that will be running around in the background, just causing havoc. So, listeners, if you hear a little scratching, that is just a little baby kitten running around. Bella the boss, of course. But otherwise, I'm doing okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, you look back and your cat's doing homework and it's in high school next second. It's just grown up.
That's right. It's just the end of that movie, Jack, and it's going to be fantastic.
Or Benjamin Button, where you meet in the middle somehow or something. I don't know.
That's right. Of course, we were playing through Halo 2. We were on, it looks like, Mission 11, the Quarantine Zone. I believe this is still part of the Arbiter's second section. So we'll go ahead and continue from there. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started, which we are both playing together. I'm playing on the Series S. What system are you playing on right now?
Playing on the 1X, the trusty old 1X.
Yeah, there we go. See, these things load fast, people. These things are wonderful when it comes to this.
There's a time where this was the higher end Xbox and it was like $500. Now somehow the Series S is $300, which is nuts.
Exactly. And just like that, it looks like we're about to load in just a second. So, Fonze, if you can, tell me, what is the origin story of your gamer tag?
Yeah, so my name's Alfonso, and my whole family's called me Fonzie since I've been a kid. And I don't think I realized that Arthur Fonzarelli was a guy from Happy Days until 2 days ago. But I thought it's my cool name. But so I just kind of derived from that, from Fonzie Pants. I think I was at maybe one of my first LAN parties. I needed something, so I just created on a whim and just kept it going for years.
I love that you just recently discovered that there is, in fact, a man played by Henry Winkler as the Fonz.
Yeah. And no one will ever be as cool as him. He could hit a jukebox and then coins fly out. I forget what he did. But he's awesome.
I think he dated Laverne and Shirley in one episode. I don't know. A lot of strengths.
Sure, Thelma and Louise. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, those are exactly the same people. Same concept, actually. That's hilarious. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. You obviously reached out to my call when I was asking for more Latinx creators to be a part of the show for especially this month specifically. But if you can, tell me a little bit about yourself and what do you guys do over there at the Plastic?
At the Plastic Hearts, yeah, we just cover gaming news, review gaming content. I just died somehow.
That's fine. I'm shooting my own friend, and I feel bad. Okay.
Is there friendly fire?
No, it's just that I keep, I'm playing a elites, and I'm shooting elites, and that's not something I do in this part. We shoot this giant guy in the sky. There we go.
Yeah, and I'm trying to discombobulate my brain from playing the Halo Infinite beta and realizing this is not the same at all. It's still dope. I'm not trashing it. It's just you have to kind of twist your brain a bit, get used to it.
Wait, did the level keep restarting, or am I crazy?
I think we both keep dying, or
no. I was
trying to shoot these.
Okay, I'm dead. There we go.
You're still okay. Yeah, it is restarting.
That's weird.
With no warning, it just restarts.
Hold on. If that happens again, we're gonna restart this. I'm gonna just go down this pipe. Let's see what happens.
So far, it hasn't reset.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
I kept going back to the same spot. It was like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, or maybe some kind of crazy lag, but that didn't seem like that same kind of thing.
No. So yes, please go ahead and tell us all about the Plastic Heart podcast.
Yeah, Plastic Hearts podcast, YouTube channel, audio podcast. Yeah, we've been talking about games, reviewing games, game news for about 2 years now. And it's me and my buddy Gavin, hometown buddy Gavin. And then I got a friend over in the UK from across the pond. And we talk about PlayStation every week, L2R2 PlayStation podcast. And we just all love games, are super nerdy, and give a take on it and try and be silly and talk about everything that's going on. But yeah, it's very fun. We love it.
No, it's awesome that you've been doing it for 2 years. How was the sort of genesis of what made you guys want to start the whole endeavor?
Well, I've been a fan of it on the sidelines of podcasting for a long time, like going back to IGN back when I want to say the first couple of Game Scoops I was in, but I never even thought about like, oh, maybe I could try doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably should still not have that in my brain because I'm nowhere near like what I'd want to be as far as quality goes. But I'm a fan of it, and I've been able to link up with some really cool people. Been able to talk to you right now, so it's been fun. And with me and my buddy Gavin, it's like we just talk about this stuff for hours, anyways. Like, why not try and just get together and plan it out and have fun? And I think the funnest part has been meeting up with other people and just like creating a community. And that's been, if I quit tomorrow, whatever, it's like that's been the funnest part so far.
No, that's awesome. And I love actually, so, I obviously watch some of your stuff, and I do love the format of just two people on a couch, or two people at a table actually like physically being together, which, so often a lot of content right now is remote because of, naturally the things that, we have to do. But it's good to have, like, it looks like you have your buddy with you there at the same time.
Yeah, that is a benefit, and thanks for watching the stuff too. But like that's a benefit of we try and create, at least recently we switched to that couch format and having a green screen of just like we're hanging out, we'll superimpose whatever trailer we're picking apart in front of us, and I just always like that feel. If I could really ideally do it, I loved the One Up show from One Up Games back in the day where they're on the street just like breaking down a game or a concept and just talking about it. I love that format. I'd love to do something like that, but yeah, that's a benefit of my buddy living, in the same town, is that we can physically meet up. And then right now, no one can meet up, so we've been doing remote stuff too. And at least with that, it's like we can still connect somehow by going on Discord or what have you.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's funny. Like everyone has a very specific look, and I've seen a lot of places that look very similar. Point in Progress is no offender. That looks very similar to other stuff that is out there, but. It is nice, and I think it is a change of pace of just having someone physically there, and it gives me back to when Kind of Funny specifically was together in a room. Like it's been that long. Oh my, okay, wait a minute. All right, something's going on, but it's not ruining the game. So I did just
die. I do remember myself dying.
Is this like on hard mode? Because I'm not dying.
I don't know. So, I just suck is what's going on.
Okay, if something happens, I will restart the level, but I think we're going to continue from here. That's funny, though.
I could use a bit more ammo. Like, it seems like they're a little bit conservative with the ammo.
Here, I'm going to pause it. We're on Legendary. That... okay, hold on one second. There'll be a time
I can pretend that I'm that cool, but there's no way.
There's no way. How did it get to Legendary? I have no idea. All right, there'll be a slight.
Check your notes. Like, Legendary and all skulls turned on. Oh, okay, cool.
I was like, how did this happen? Okay, yeah, I got switched to Legendary, which I don't remember. It also just restarting the map. But let me check the skulls. Is somebody even on my account? What's going on here? No,
your cat.
Damn the cat.
It's been hacking into the mainframe.
Okay, so yep,
it's been a hot second since I played some Halo 2.
Okay. And we're back to where we left off. So that's totally fixed and fine in editing. Let's see. What are some of your early memories with Xbox and with Halo? I see that you are rocking the original Xbox shirt.
Yeah, they have their 20th anniversary line right now. And so I jumped on it as soon as that stuff went live. There's some really cool merch there. But as far as like first memory, I remember... actually picking up a PS2 pretty close to launch, maybe the first 2 years of it. And I went to Toys R Us, and that was back when you had to like grab a slip and then take that slip, and they would actually exchange it for a physical console.
Oh, yeah.
But I got my PS2, I was super stoked. And then I went to my Gram's house, and I'm like flexing on my grandma and my family members, like, oh, look, I just got a PS2. And my uncle, which everybody has this uncle, and if you don't have it, it's you. It's like you need to look in the mirror. But this guy, he's great. But like he always has his facts just a little bit off. He mostly has a general idea, but he was telling me and selling me on the Xbox, the console, and he's like, "Yeah, it's basically a PC. It does this, that, and the other thing." And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty dope." Okay, I actually went and returned. I begged my mom. We went back to Toys R Us, returned it for an Xbox, and I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and found out did none of the things my uncle sold me on. I don't know if he has a stakeholder thing in Microsoft.
Yeah, he's in Redmond right now, just like baking it off.
Yep, it's like make sure and use code UNCLE for 20% off. But I was hooked. I mean, I played the heck out of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, but started jumping into the original like first party games and jumped onto Halo and loved it. I was playing Panzer Dragoon Orta on there. There was
On
an
sale today,
Xbox
I just
demo
saw,
disc.
so I might pick that up. It's like $4.
Ooh, yeah. I'm convinced. I want to try the Switch one. There was a newer Switch game in that series that came out maybe a couple months ago, maybe a year ago now. But
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember what happened with it, or if it was received well. But yeah, I love that series, or at least that game on Xbox. Totally loved it.
We are fighting a tank. Oh god.
And these are not buddies. Yes,
These are not. Yeah, I thought they were buddies for a second. I'm like, but wait a minute, why would a buddy be in a tank?
right.
Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna bounce out. Oh no, I'm still good. He's
Nope. Oh dang.
okay. Well, first death, first official real death that's not on legendary.
Yes.
There we go. Hold
We
on.
got the checkpoint.
There's that tank right behind us.
Oh, I'm on it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, just hammer him. Oh, never mind. Sorry, let's get distracted by this tank because he killed us last time, and they killed us again. All right. Oh, you're alive.
I'm still alive. Can I bring you back somehow? Nope.
No, yeah, by dying.
Okay, there we go. That's a cheat code. Is we die.
There
bring
you
him
go.
back.
You brought up a specific memory that definitely has awakened something in my mind of going to the Toys R Us or getting sort of these permission slips before getting to the main register, and that is something that I remember very specifically during my N64 days. Having to go to the store and be like, "Mom, grab one of these. We got to take this to the register," and she's like, "What is this? South Park like racing game?" And I'm like, "Oh no, the kids are all playing it. It's all good. Don't worry about it." Like I remember all of that.
Yeah, the low key, the stress of like trying to convince your parents to get you a game that you shouldn't be allowed to play. It's like it was always so stressful, but somehow we made it through it and we were able to trick them. But
yeah, exactly. They never knew the difference.
yeah, they're like whatever.
Oh god, I forgot that tank is still alive. You know what? I'm just gonna move. I'm just gonna move without it. If I keep moving, it can't hurt me. There we go. Oh god, there's so many vehicles.
There are a couple of ghosts. Oh, okay, we got it.
Yeah.
There are a couple of ghosts floating around. I wonder if that'd be easier to avoid the wraiths or the tanks. But
I love that the music is like going off the chain right now, and I can't hear it. That's the sad. I can hear a snippet of it. Hopefully, the people watching the video are enjoying it a little bit.
I'm hearing glimpses of it too. Yeah, Halo.
Oh,
they
God,
nail a lot of things.
nice.
They always nail the music. Is this guy? That's a buddy.
guy's
No,
on
it's not a
fire.
buddy. Oh, it's a
Yeah, these are flood.
mushroom dude. The flood. Yeah.
Oh god. Okay, he's dead. All right, he's boarded.
Oh, he just jumped. He's still alive.
There we go. Okay, a lot is happening in this level. So in terms of the doing podcasting, so are you doing this live in front of an audience? Are you guys doing it privately and just recording every week, or like a set schedule?
Oh yeah, we do it on Twitch actually, as live as Twitch can be. We go there every Monday or Tuesday around like 6 p.m. PST, and then we will also record on the weekends on Saturday, Sunday, or the PlayStation podcast. But yeah, we always try and record live and then just post it, afterwards.
Yeah, that was something that we kind of discovered late on early for Point in Progress, as how I think important to having to go live with like sort of like a community and to build community. That's definitely was something positive that we got after doing E3. E3 was so much fun to actually be there live in the moment, but then having other people be there with you and to react to you, and then you pull from them as well. So
Nice.
definitely now that has been something positive that we've done at Point in Progress, is now that every episode that we record is live.
That's awesome. Yeah, especially once you nail, the whole recording process. It's like, oh, we could just do this in one shot and do it live and plan on no one taking their shirt off or whatever. It's like you can plan ahead in some degree, and like you can totally do it.
See, in 2019, Mario was all about pulling that shirt off on content. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't maybe they changed the guidelines. I don't know how it is now.
Yeah, I'm not quite heavily sure, because you got your outliers where sure you can't free the nipple on Twitch, but
One day
you got your Greg Millers, so I don't know. I just think it's I'm getting boarded now. Okay, I'm getting off of this. Get off of me. Normal is
don't mess around.
This level's not messing around. Of course, it has two of my least favorite things in the entire early Halo series, which of course is the Flood and the damn Sentinels, which of course have to come together to wreck my day. Let's see here. I don't even know which direction. I think we go this way. Let's see.
I think you're right.
Oh, nope. That is an empty hole to nowhere land. Let's not go that way. We might have to go up this ridge.
I think they intend on us having a vehicle, but it's like we got no vehicle.
Well, we hoof it. It adds more time to the podcast for us to talk, so that's fine. So
yeah, the Flood, I like them in theory, like on paper. They're really dope character or antagonist, villain, but fighting them is frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. What is actually some of your favorite aspects of Halo that drew you in?
Man, I mean the gameplay mechanics, the shooting is so tight. The story is probably the thing that sticks with me the most. So I found myself reading the books that released. So I read the first 3 based on the actual games, and then at least 1 or 2 that were kind of just storyline on the outside. And I just found myself fully engrossed in the story. I thought it was really, really cool, really unique, and just interesting. And the gameplay is awesome too. So I just kind of found myself kind of leaning towards the campaign more than the multiplayer. But as the years go by, I'll end up jumping and having a blast in multiplayer. But it's always been the story for me.
No, for sure. How has the story been for you in the 343 era?
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of cashed out a little bit, and so I'm excited with Infinite, where I'm totally invested, and I'm right back in there. But with Halo 5, Halo 4, I was still into quite a bit with Halo 4. But Halo 5, because of a lot of the reception, I didn't have an Xbox at the time, one of the last gen ones, so I just kind of skipped out. And so I'm on my way back into it, and Infinite's been the main thing, pull me back in.
What is it about Infinite that is seemingly going to be possibly the change there?
Yeah, it's a lot of things, right? So even before playing the beta, which once I play the beta, I'm absolutely on board. But before that, seeing that open world, I thought that was a really unique take on it. Seems like it would refresh the gameplay. Honestly, the footage they showed off didn't look that bad to me. I thought it was kind of somewhat cartoony-esque a little bit. I thought it was actually fine. Yeah, you zoom in on Craig, doesn't look great, but it's like I was actually okay with it. But the more time they have on it, the better for sure.
Yeah.
But something about the open world, and then seeing the with the multiplayer, how they're going back to just what makes Halo, and really picking out the best components. Yeah, just all that together makes me super duper on board.
Yeah, I've also gotten a chance to play a little bit of that. Oh, there's some more people coming here, and they are
great.
mad.
They also have vehicles.
Yes, they do. They just start rolling up on us, which is okay. I'm going to start taking one of these guys. Definitely, given what I have played with the beta, it definitely feels like a return to sort of like a more simpler way with it. I will say that my muscle memory of their past game with Halo 5 with the whole boosting has definitely stuck with me. And there's moments where I'm like, I miss it, and there's moments where I don't. And I'm curious of how, if they were to bring it back during one of the flights, how that would be. Only because I feel like there are ramps and or areas where I'm like, I could easily sprint and then just boost over, like sort of like what they did with Halo 5 that I think is missing out of it. However, I love the simplicity of not having it, and everything's sort of feeling like it's a part of like a grounded universe of Halo 1 in a lot of ways. Like I feel like it's just not basic, but simple enough where it just works. Especially when you introduce also things like equipment back into the world, where they definitely still offer variety for what you get. So I don't know. I think this is the way we got to go. I think in this little tunnel here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you bring up a point that I'm interested in on your take on. So I didn't play much of Halo 5 as far as getting used to the boosting you're talking about and some of the changes they made to movement in general. But it seems like they had to really compete with Call of Duty with how they added a lot of the movement aspects. But do you think there's actually positive things they introduced because of them competing?
I think it definitely added like a term of like momentum to Halo with Halo 5. And that's what I think was the better aspects of it. But at the same time, if you think of it like where it was competing with like Advanced Warfare or whatever the space one was with Kit Harington. It's sort of like trying to compete with in those eras. And honestly, yeah, I could take it or leave it. But like I said, I do love how pure this one feels of how, by stripping some of these things out, you can improve upon just having some of the simple things. Like even the buttons with like, I think it's reload is like the same one as Halo original and stuff like that. So even like having little things like that be the same, I think helps. But at the same time, I will say, like, I as someone who like did not enjoy the story of Halo 5 whatsoever, and I'm excited for this rewatch of me, playing it over again. I'm actually going to probably play it over by myself and then bring guests on to play that game.
Yeah.
Just because I want a refresher in my mind. But at the same time, I thought that the multiplayer was the best aspect of Halo 5. As a matter of fact, I played a match not that long ago just because, with the power of the Xbox, you can just load that sucker up. And, there's still a dedicated fan base of people playing it. And I think it's a lot of fun, especially of how momentous you feel while playing it. So when it comes to this new one, it is interesting when you take sort of the momentum out and just sort of ground yourself a little bit and keeping the grapple and keeping like the, ledging up and stuff like that. I do think that they did create a good balance, as much as I miss the momentum.
Yeah, that's one I will definitely go back at some point and try, because I think the input of other people, other reviewers, kind of soured my experience and gave me. I didn't have my own take on it. I just kind of, understood, okay, people aren't digging it. Yeah. But I understand the big complaints were with the story, where they took that. But I would like to have some fresh eyes on it and play it and see if maybe we were all kind of hard on it at the time.
Again, and honestly, I'm doing that with life. The older I get, the actual more that I start appreciating things, like, and start just taking it in for what they are. Like I did that with the Spider-Man films, where I've actually, I think it was it was No Way Home, obviously showed, and you see Alfred Molina as his character, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go watch all those movies and just see how I feel about them, this way out. I remember I rewatched them, I think it was leading up to Far From Home, I believe is the name. See, when they started changing, like Homecoming and Far From Home and No Way Home, like it mixes me up. But during that rewatch, oh, by the way, this level looks so much better in comparison to the original, because this just looks like awful.
No, you can toggle with the buttons pressed, right, from the old engine?
Yeah, if you hit the back button, you should be able to swap it.
Oh, no.
It just does not look... It just looks like a multiplayer level that is unfinished.
Yeah, like just all the colors are muted and geometry is kind of simple. And I see. I'm switching right back.
Definitely the orange just brings out the color a little bit, but at the same time, this part of this level is like... a couple more minutes could have been left here a little bit. That's fine. But yeah, so revisiting those movies and going back to that old context of like how my expectations were, obviously at the time, was like, oh my God, we're getting Venom, and oh, they're doing Sandman. And honestly, I was taken aback by how much I just sort of enjoyed watching Sam Raimi have fun and to make a Spider-Man movie and his Spider-Man movie. And I even like recanted on how I feel about 3 in a lot of ways. So I'm very curious of how going back and playing 5 again and how much my opinion will change on that if I let certain things go. Only because, from what I understand of Halo Infinite, they're definitely trying their best to distance themselves from 5, is what I'm hearing. And I honestly like the twist at the end of 5 that leads into this, and it sounds like they're recanting hard. Like that last trailer that we saw, that was like somewhat of like story. It's definitely heavily recanted on it. So I'm curious how that plays out, but until then, only time will tell.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I understood more of the story. I've watched so many YouTube breakdowns. Like, here's where Halo is now, and I think by the time it gets to 5, for some reason, I'm kind of like blanking out on it. But I guess I don't know how much into spoilers you want to get on Halo 5.
I'm fine with talking about it. If you want to know, I'll let you know. But ultimately, I
understand the general idea with Cortana kind of being the antagonist.
That is the part where I'm like, okay, is that the through line of 6? And that's what I think is being removed. And I'm scared for that part, to be honest. Like, that's the part that I'm interested in, is like, how are you going to rectify it? Because as someone who, loved the Bungie era of these Halo games, Halo 4 is, in my opinion, really solid for what they did in terms of sort of closing up those story with Cortana, but then having her be sort of an antagonist in 5, I thought was genius, as someone who's also a huge wrestling fan. So to have a heel turn for one of the most beloved characters, I'm okay with. By the way, I have no idea how to get... Oh, wait, is this the way out? This is the way out. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I was like, how do we escape this room of hell? This does not want to end. But that's sort of like the big through line. I mean, yeah, everyone has their problems with the 30-70 split on how often you play as Master Chief, which I feel like that is the bulk of the problems people have, is the fact that you are playing about 30% of that game as Master Chief, 70% as a character nobody cares about. Right. So I think once I sort of just let that go, and honestly, that was because of, expectation and build up from, things that I've watched and consumed. Like they had a podcast. There was like so many things going on at that time. If I let that go, how would I feel later? So that's what I'm looking for. And hopefully, you might even give a second chance to Halo 5.
Yeah, it's so many reasons why I need to jump back into it. But with you mentioned Cortana, that's kind of, it was inevitable with her reaching rampancy. That's something they always talked about in the series, where it's like it's not going to end good.
Yes,
she's going to start to kind of break down. And so I've always loved that idea. So it seems like they leaned heavier into it in 5, and the idea of them kind of scrapping that, that is a bummer to hear. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, just because there's like a throwaway line in one of those, like, "Oh, I deleted her," and I'm like, "What does that mean? Like, what are you talking about?" Like, and then like the bad guy being this brute. I'm like, I'm okay with them being co-leads. Like, obviously, right. You got to have the person that you like. How can I describe? It's like, there's so many obvious like movie versions of this, but like, the person I love is her mind's wiped, but and she's evil. But
like
there's
a soap opera.
But there's a bigger bad. Like something like that. Like. That's right. Basically the impetus of, to me, what Halo is. It's always about Master Chief and his girlfriend for the most part.
Yeah.
Because they just have like a connection, in my opinion. And I think that's something nice about it, to people that can have this sort of like connection. But yeah, I'm very curious of like how they're rectifying it, how they're going about it. I'll give them, some credence. And like you said, I was also one of those people that did not think that the footage was that bad. I mean, the one character, the Latino character, or possibly in the show, looked kind of weird. But other than that, hey, improved character models. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, if they don't end this series with Master Chief and Cortana finally, being boyfriend and girlfriend, or just at least like being friends, getting timeshare together or something, it's like, come on, we need that at least.
No, for sure. That's definitely exactly what I want.
I love when they lean into the Forerunner stuff, which they've done a lot more, especially since 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. But I'm a huge fan of that. So, but I understand because it's open world, they're trying to kind of separate themselves from 5. I get that with maybe having this different story, but imagine how dope it would be if there's no mention of Cortana at all. We finally go through the entire campaign of Infinite, and then at the end, there's some kind of like she shows up. Like that's going to be pretty dope.
Yeah. So. Time will tell, as we all know. So
coming soon.
Yeah, for sure. What are some other video games that sort of help define you as a person, as someone who calls himself a gamer? Wait, we went backwards. We definitely went backwards.
I'm running back.
That's so messed up because enemies came out of this tunnel and made it feel like it was brand new. Oh my god!
And I got a checkpoint and everything, but yeah.
Wait, did we go backwards? Is that the?
Unless it's the same looking level.
Oh my god! Here, you keep going.
I think we did. I think so.
All right. Well, we're gonna press on. Let's see. This looks like something. I swear.
That looks more like where we came out of than the last one.
Oh, no. Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh my god! Yeah, you're right. You're right. Turn around.
It just looks the same. Yes.
Okay. God willing, if Halo hasn't reused assets once before in their lives, looking at you using many levels that are just reverse of each other in Halo 1. Thank God. Okay, we're on track now. That makes more sense now. The fact that monsters spilled out of here. Okay. But yes.
Yeah, it's just these areas blend together. But I know you mentioned just like influential games. I really love, as cheesy as it is, Super Mario World's probably my favorite game ever.
Okay.
It's not only the gameplay, it's just like the art style. I fell in love with just that kind of cartoony looking, simplified art style. Played a ton of that as a kid, but and then I'll still revisit it. I love that game. I want to be buried with that game cartridge. But I just love everything and try and play a bunch of stuff. But as far as influential games, man, that might be it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I love that series. Mm-hmm. Love it to death. And so some of my favorite memories with my uncle, like we're both super nerds growing up, and him getting that. There was a Pizza Hut demo disc that came for the PlayStation 1 that had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That's awesome.
And we just ordered pizza, or convinced, my mom, grandma to order pizza. He happened to just have a PlayStation, like he just got it, came with that demo disc. And I think that disc melted in the disc tray because we played that demo so much. Loved it. So just like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater has a fond place in my heart, and I love that it's kind of coming back. Although not anymore because Activision's using all their devs on Call of Duty, but it was coming. It seemed like it was coming back.
I'm confused on that because yes, I've heard obviously in the news that they're basically just swallowing them up into Call of Duty. But then like they posted like a video for like the 25th anniversary of Crash, and they like still, looks like there might be something going on with that. So I have some faith that it's possible that we will get more of Crash, Spyro, and hopefully Tony Hawk in the future. But until then,
I hope so.
They're stuck in Halo or Call of Duty land. Who knows? Maybe after this big reshuffle of things going on over there, that maybe they start making some changes, including not just being a Call of Duty factory. So I'd be happy for that. That'd be great.
I'm hopeful. It's just that money talks, and those that series make so much money. But you're sitting on properties that also make tons of money. So it's like, why not spread out a little bit? But they have to pump out Warzone and then a new Call of Duty every year. So it's just, I imagine it's insanely tough.
Yeah.
But it's just a bummer because we're missing out on all these other cool games we could be getting.
I'm very curious of how well the Crash 4 did. I haven't heard much other than it did decent, but I'm curious if that was something that definitely was like, all right, you know what? This was an experiment that happened. Well, also with the trilogy, like how did that do? Like apparently it did enough to do 4. So very curious of how they decide to make decisions over there. Then again, I never understand how companies make decisions.
Yeah, no, that'd be a great question for Benji Sales. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but he's this great analyst for video game sales and how they're performing, and he breaks it down daily. And so he would have that knowledge on hand, but like he's really following the industry and seeing what sells and kind of quantifying, okay, what most likely our company's going to put their time and effort in to the next thing based on the sales of whatever game. And yeah, it's a whole other aspect to the industry that's super fascinating.
Wait, I just hitched a ride with these dudes here, and I don't know where we're going. Are we going backwards?
Road trip?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to you. Hold on.
I know there's this big Sentinel thing coming.
Let's see. I got a rocket for him, so let's see. Oh, you got him. He must have, because he's not here anymore.
I think I took him out. Oh, there's more in this direction.
Cool.
Too.
There we go. And of course the Spectre shows up behind you. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get in the front of him. No,
do you have influential games in your life you think about?
I mean, there's a countless of them. I think probably one of the biggest influential games is Pokemon. Honestly, you just can't escape it at my age in the 90s, where if it wasn't on my television, it was on someone's backpack, or if it was on someone's, card table. And so all those things are just been so infused in my mind. And I have, deep memories of buying, I have sad and wonderful memories of both buying cards. And I have wonderful memories of being able to play the GBA games. And some of the fun stuff is like, hey, talking to your friend who owns a Game Shark, and unlocking things you never thought you would see, like flying Pikachu or surfing Pikachu. Obviously, getting all of the 99 items and stuff like that. So, and then even doing it on your own with Red and Blue, right? With Missing Gnome, like all those like little things. Like I think that is something that's definitely been in my mind of like getting into the nitty gritty of things with games and like learning things. Like I've always been curious about that, and I think that stemmed from Pokemon, this little Game Boy game. And hold on, can I get on top of you, or can I
think so?
I'm trying to remember when. It's funny because you play this series and you're like, oh, can I do this? Oh, that's not introduced until like later. No, it's not on this one. All right.
Really, you can't man the turrets or whatever?
No, there's no turret on this one.
Dang.
Yeah, I think that must be a 3 or later. So that's funny. But yeah, definitely that game. And I don't know if I told this story on this show or if I told it somewhere else, but I remember I had that yellow Game Boy Color, the one that was sort of like the Pikachu one, and I remember having Pokemon Yellow, which out of the three, my favorite, even though it's the hardest game, it's the Dark Souls of Pokemon.
Oh god.
Because you start with Pikachu, and the first person you fight is Brock, which is rock, and so you have to grind in order to like get a like hot ass Pidgeotto or something to like take him out, and it's brutal. It's brutal in those early stages. So shout out to formative years of Pokemon Yellow. But the saddest thing is I remember putting that thing in my back pocket and going down the slide.
Don't tell me. Dang.
I never seen a Game Boy bleed before, but here we go. It bleeds black. I'll tell you that. It bleeds black.
And you're just having a great time. Like, I'm a kid. I'm going to go down the slide. That's what kids do. And then...
Yep. And I was just like, well, I guess Game Boy time is over. So I did not get a Game Boy. I don't think I've got a handheld system until like DS. So I like skipped a lot. And obviously with the DS, thank God it had the GBA slot, so that way I could experience some games. Like I got Chain of Memories, and then like one of my favorite games of all time is what was it? It's Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
I always hear people love that series or that game.
Yeah, that one specifically just speaks to me because it's very much my shit. It's kids get transported to another world and they are in Fantasyland and they have they're in different parts of the world. Yeah, so like definitely my shit. Any other major titles other than Super Mario Bros. That like speaks to you?
You know what? I guess more recently, this is 2 years ago now, but Celeste. I fucking love that game.
Oh my God, yes.
It's just not only the platforming, which is, they do a great job of, it seems brutal, but the more you keep going at it, you figure out the timing and what they want you to do, what they want you to do. But I play with my wife next to me, and every screen, it's like, I can't do that. It's impossible. I can't do that. And I keep trying and trying and trying, and I nail it. It's like, oh shit. So there's like 100 of those. I don't know how many levels, but like there's so many times where you feel that way, and they just craft it expertly. Then on top of that, the story is dope.
Yes.
It's nuts.
No, you are absolutely speaking the praises to me. I absolutely adore that game. I own 2 of, I think, 3 vinyls that are out there. So I'm very much, loving the score, loving that game. And I love that for me, who at the certain point of the game did fight me. And of course, because like you said, you just think that like, oh my God, it's impossible. The game never criticized me for wanting to turn on any of the accessibility features. And that's what I loved about it even further, was like it knew that I needed help and it was willing to help me. And they wanted me to try and do it my own, but they were willing to be there for me. And I think that's what definitely made that game just as beautiful as it is. Now, some of the post game I think is bullshit.
I haven't played any of the DLC or stuff like that, or just trying to find those. Was it the strawberries?
Yeah, strawberries, and then unlock something else. Like I've not gotten that far in terms of the game, only because it is fucking rough. But otherwise, as a single experience for credits, I think it's phenomenal, and you can buy it pretty much everywhere, which is awesome.
Now it's even on your broken Game Boy that's on the slide, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. Given the power of Game Pass, you can stream it anywhere. So there you go.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
You mentioned how I guess accessible it is with Celeste, with how you can toggle the different gameplay options. Mm-hmm. Tell that to Returnal, man. I wish I could get through that game. And it's so beautiful and weird and cool. It's like everything checks all my boxes, but I cannot get past that first biome. And it's such a heartbreak for me. And I know I guess I need to grind and get better. I get that, but I just suck at that game, but it's such a cool looking game.
No, for sure. I definitely, I'm not anywhere near the hardcore gamers of people that love the Dark Souls or, those that ilk. But at the same time, it's just like, it would be nice to have some menu options just to help me propel a little further. But I'm not going to get in that massive debate that's definitely been criticized.
It is very people get emotional about that, the idea of difficulty, and it's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely. And I am in the camp of, I think getting more people to play the game just makes more sense. As a matter of fact, I think today I heard that Tim Geddes, because I listen to Kind of Funny pretty much religiously, he was talking about how he's playing the Halo Infinite flight, and he's playing it with a mouse and PS Move controller. Whoa. Yes, he uses the analog stick from the navigation controller and uses the mouse to shoot, and that's how he plays Halo.
Interesting.
Yes, which I'm like, hey, that's fascinating. And at the same time, for people that want to try gaming on PC but don't necessarily feel like they have the dexterity for WASD,
That's me, man. Like I tried and it's tough.
It's tough, and you definitely start getting some muscle memory, but for people that just starting out, people really love the analog stick, and they say that the analog stick's them. And I think, I keep shooting my own people. I think having that as a option, I think, is pretty amazing. Oh my God, there's just 5 people just standing still, not doing a thing. I'm just watching them.
Let them take a break, Mario. What are you, the manager? Like, let them chill.
Oh, okay. They're pushing towards me. Okay, so the level pushes them towards me. Okay. They have a sword. Let me get out of here.
Okay, well.
My own guy almost pushed me off the edge.
Oh, I'm right above you, just like chilling. I didn't realize that was below. Okay.
Yeah, it was below me. There was like a little hole down there, and you just saw 5 dudes just like, yo, what up? And I was like, nope, I'm not pressing, and I'm not shooting you. Don't shoot me. Yeah, they came out of that hole. And I was like, what the hell? The footage is going to look hilarious on that. But yeah, as someone who would love to partake in the Dark Souls and the Bloodborns, I've tried Bloodborne so many times. I don't know. Either I have to be super dedicated to it or I have to let it go. And I think I'm going to finally let it go.
I'm in the same boat. People love that game. I always see it online on Twitter. People high praises, which I just realized, it's just not for me. But it looks so cool. There's a lot of games like that. It looks so cool.
Yes.
Demon Souls, the recent remaster on PS5. Was it Demon Souls or no, it wasn't Dark Souls? It was Demon Souls. Yeah.
Demon Souls. Yeah, you nailed it.
That one, I downloaded it and it was, it's beautiful. It's just, that one's maybe a little more approachable, but that's like we're splitting hairs. It's still really super duper hard.
Yeah.
So I just kind of eventually quit.
I hear it's probably like one of the best still looking games on the platform. And there will be a day when it's on sale for $20 and I will pick it up, but I don't know how far I'll get. Like if it's a digital sale or if it's a something I pick up at GameStop. I'm sure I have enough points to just get it for free at this point.
There you go.
But of course, that email was associated with DualShockers, and they turned my email off, and so I can't redeem those points.
Dang.
It was a fun time. Did you die? Okay,
I did.
I saw just a gang of dudes. There we go.
But we're talking about difficulty for and like lastly, just I wanted to bring up Control because I think they did a great job with managing that difficulty. When Control launched, it was pretty tough. Like I had to replay a bunch of areas, but in the months after that, they released an update where you could toggle how often your weapon recharged, the enemies, how difficult they were, how powerful you were. You could make yourself actually weaker if you wanted to. Awesome. They unlocked the whole thing, and it was a single-player game. Like that didn't affect anybody else's playthrough. So when I look at Returnal, it's like, hey, why can't you do something like that? It's not going to affect anybody else's playthroughs, just for me on my own. And I get the devs maybe don't intend on that, and that's a whole other thing. I totally get it. But I feel like there's ways to do it where it doesn't hurt anybody else, but it lets me have fun with the game. I go back and forth on it.
No, for sure. And I think that it should be a universal thing, personally, when it comes to how games, can be operated. I know that people have certain ideas and the way things are intended, and watching movies in IMAX or being able to go to theaters, Christopher Nolan. But at the same time, it's just sort of like, people just like to consume things on their phone. People like to do their laundry while watching an episode of Netflix, So at the same time, video games, if you are having an issue with sort of how to fight enemies, having a cranking system to crank that down a little bit is totally fine and an accessible thing.
Yeah, I agree. And there are definitely games that are doing that. It's just sometimes when these bigger titles release and don't do that, they're kind of magnified a bit. But there's definitely really the indie space is like hold my beer. They're doing that all day.
100%. And I hope that. And the only major company that I feel like has definitely been trying their best, I know that they still have a long way to go, is Microsoft doing their best foot forward with an actual controller that's very expensive. But at the same time, having hopefully tools that will be stuff that they implement forever going forward. I know that people still have problems though in like Deathloop and stuff like that. So who knows, man? This level looks very familiar. Of a level I don't like called the Library.
Oh, in Halo 1, yes.
Except definitely more well lit.
Right.
Like someone actually goes to this library. This is the Tim Cook Library.
Does anyone enjoy the library in Halo 1? If they do, are they a cop? Like, who do you actually meet in person that's actually like,
Funny
you know what?
enough,
That level's dope.
shout out to fellow content creator, also fellow Latino, Joe Moran, who was my guest for that episode. Says he loves the library.
Oh, dang.
I mean, I love a library. I don't know if it's this one.
Sure.
You know, and I think this is the end.
They're both painful.
Yeah, they're both painful in their own ways. Try to get the Wi-Fi password. It sucks.
Right.
Good old Miranda Keys.
Man, these cutscenes are just gorgeous.
Of course, you can flip back and forth between cutscenes. They are off sync by a little bit.
Whoa, I'm doing that now.
It's a little weird, yeah. See, I love these characters together, so I'm happy that they continue on over to Halo 3. Miranda will not look like this in Halo 3, though.
Does she not?
Well, because
I guess with
they
the
don't,
actual
they have
game, yeah.
never updated those cutscenes,
Right.
So this is the most clear we've seen these characters in a long time.
Do you think the motivation to have these cutscenes redone for Halo 2 was just because, I guess, arguably Halo 2 was the biggest of the Master Chief Collection, or why not? I guess it's expensive as well, but like, why not continue this on?
I think it's because this was before the HD era, where Halo 3, I believe, is 1080p. So
Sure.
I think that was the main reasons. Like, we were just trying to get us up to that point, and now that we're past that to 4K, and all the games have theoretically been up-res to 4K, it would have been nice. They are definitely way past their 10-year anniversary window, which is what they did for Halo 1 and 2. I would love to see a refresh of Halo 3. But again, Halo 3 also looks good still, theoretically.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an interesting thing to go about, where, hell, what are we, 10 years almost, and we're on the third console of Grand Theft Auto?
Right.
And it still looks somewhat the same, even though it has been crisped up a little bit. So I'm curious if they could have gone that route, but yeah, I don't know. I would have loved for, obviously, cutscenes, but I think a lot of those cutscenes, if I'm not mistaken, are like baked into the game sometimes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, in engine, sure, yeah.
So I'm curious of how they could have done it in that direction. But yeah, I don't know. Until we find out for the next anniversary. Hopefully they make it for the 20th. We're at 8K.
We'll see. Yeah. Finally, the TVs will be cheap enough to actually buy, I'm sure.
Exactly. Well, we pretty much got to the end of our journey here on Halo Forever. It has been a blast talking about a multitude of different things. Fonze, I want to thank you so much for joining me. This has been fun. And
Thank you. It's been a blast. It flew by, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, other than the wacky start at the beginning, I think it did pretty well for what we did. So I'm going to go ahead and get us right there to the end screen here. And again, thank you so much for reaching out and to be a part of this, and to, be another person that has been so supportive online, that I've seen you several times out there. And for someone who's creating stuff and still wanting the effort to do it, so like, a lot of this stuff comes from our passions, and it's awesome to see more people doing it. So again, thank you so much.
Same to you. Appreciate you taking the time, and had a blast. And yeah, you're another inspiration out there doing it and keeping the enthusiasm. And it kind of helps me when I'm having which is most days where I feel like, I should just stop. I should just, hide under a blanket. But yeah, seeing creators like you, it's like, it's actually motivational to keep going.
Oh, thank you so much. And then obviously, can you please tell us, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter like every day. I should probably not be on there as much, but at Twitter, at Plastic Card Pod on Twitter, and then on YouTube, Plastic Cards Podcast, and you can find me there.
Yeah, I was on there so much they kicked me off the platform. That is awesome. Of course, please go ahead and check him out over there at the Plastic Cards Podcast at his YouTube channel. I will link it down below, so that way it will have a quick link straight to the channel and to consume all the content. Are you also like an audio podcast too? Like, can people find you on audio podcasts?
Yep, on Apple. I forget to plug that stuff. Apple, Anchor, Android, Who's He What's It. It's all there. Yeah, absolutely. And it's very combination. My favorite type of content, which is conversational, as well as talking about certain topics. So definitely, please, everyone, go give that a listen and check out. And of course, you can find me here at youtube.com/thatMarioRivera, where I be doing all of the Halo, hopefully up until Infinite. We'll see how that goes, especially with no co-op until like
much later. So we'll see how that happens. But at the same time, that gives me a lot of time to do some extra content. You can also find me over at Point in Progress, where I do a podcast with 4 other individuals. Ow, my cat just attacked me. While we talk about the news and spicy takes and all the things that goes with it. I will be doing some more stuff over there that is still to be determined, and I'm very excited to announce that. But until then, let's finish this fight.